Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. Here is the Pence reading that I did promise that I would do. I've got a number of questions here. Was Pence in on the Russian collusion? That's our first question that we'll be looking at. Is he undermining Trump in his bid to become the next president? And the third question is, will he be the next president? And I guess we could probably, if we've got time, look at, what the next, 3 to 6 months will bring for Mike Pence. But we'll just see how we go. After I spoke about him the other day, I got viewers coming forward with their experiences, those that are living in Indiana, and he's not popular there. Well, of course he is popular there, but amongst Democrats, they know him as a pretty nasty kind of person. I do feel that persona that he presents is it hides a very I guess, what's the word, it's kind of smooth, a smooth politician, but one that is really pretending to be something else, although he does believe it, but by the same token would not hesitate to do something underhanded if that's what it took. So it's almost like he's kind of justifying his actions through this Christian, this evangelical kind of belief, this Christian belief that he has, but yet nothing is below, nothing, he will go down to those low levels, nevertheless, to get what he wants. There's a fair bit of personal ambition there and a fair bit of ego with Mike Pence. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at that first was Mike Pence. He was in the transition team. He's been campaigning with Trump. He's been in all those meetings. Did he know about the Russian collusion? Did he know about the Russians that were helping the Trump campaign? And why did Trump choose him? So, I mean, straight away I got that Trump chose him really to bring that Christian alt-right faction right with him, to bring the evangelicals with him right across the country. This was part of shoring up that segment of the vote, along with with this gaslighting and racism would shore up another section. So it was all very well, carefully, kind of strategically planned. So when people go into campaign planning, you would think that they would be in a room and they would be going, okay, well, this is the policy that we need to appeal to this segment, and we should bring forward our policy on education because that's going to help this segment of the state, and those voters will respond to that policy position. That's not how their planning went at all. Their planning went, okay, we can get this segment on side by doing this, by gaslighting this, by causing this division. We will get these voters on side by aligning ourselves with these people. I think a great picture that comes to mind was when Trump had those evangelicals around and they were laying their hands on his shoulders. I mean, anyway, all right, so Pence was on board to bring that section with him, and because of his Republican ties in those in those states there as well, and he was part of the Republican machinery. But did he know about the collusion? Okay, so I'm getting that he actually did, but they like to pretend that he didn't. So this is another bit of the web of disillusion. Is that the right word? Delusion, the web of delusion that they're peddling. Of course, he knew. Okay, they all knew. The Republicans all knew. But that's enough narrative from me. Let's look at what the cards are going to say. So, was Mike Pence in on the Russian conspiracy collusion? On Trump's, because that predates Pence, don't forget. This Russian interests have been involved with Trump for decades. Was Pence in on, for example, the WikiLeaks? Was he in on the meetings with the Russians? Was he aware of the Russian collusion? Okay, he was on the edges of it, that's what I'm seeing. He wasn't central to it, but he was definitely aware of it. Okay, so it was all part of this campaign planning. He's no saint, Mike Pence. Let's not forget that. Was he aware of the way the Russians helped the Trump campaign? Did he receive anything from the Russians? Yeah, and there's also that NRA link, okay? So, yes, they were all aware. Okay, so straight away we've got the Eight of Swords coming, and I'll just bring the screen down to focus on the cards. Okay, so straight away we've got the Eight of Swords. I'll just move that down. And the Eight of Swords comes forward when there is a situation where people are feeling bound. Now, that's an interesting card to pull for Mike Pence. Is that how Mike Pence is feeling now? That he's sort of almost made his bed, now he's got a lie in it. But we're talking about Russian collusion here. So this could be, yes, he is aware, and he is aware of what's coming down. Because this is almost like isolation, and it is the card of imprisonment. So straight away this is telling me that Mike Pence does indeed know about the Russian collusion in that campaign. And then we're looking at where he is now, okay? So along with Donald Trump, they are feeling like they have been left out in the cold. This, again, is isolation. So these cards are telling me that Pence will go down with Trump. And his what is challenging him, we've got the Knave of Cups coming forward here. And the Knave of Cups comes forward with this kind of, I think, because he has appealed to the Christian base. I mean, this is essentially volunteerism, and and I think this is representing his Christian base. That is the challenge for him at the moment, because really what is likely to come forward about Trump is going to really blow his base out of the water, in other words. So there we have the Emperor coming forward, and I see this card as Mueller. This is the powerful, I guess. It's sort of like a respect and strategic planning, and I think this is representing the Mueller investigation. Pence is going to get caught up in that, and this is what this reading is actually saying. It is saying that he will be caught up in it, and he's actually done it to himself, and he's done it because he fears change. Okay, and there's a financial aspect to this card as well. Okay, so this is the Four of Pentacles coming forward as somebody that fears change and fears, I guess, wanting to keep society in a particular way. And this so often governs the actions of Republicans. They are frightened of the future almost, and they want to have that power and control. They're not really willing to hand over control to other people for fear of what they might do with them, with that power and control. They want to keep things as they always have been. been. This also is the card of fearing for long-term financial security. It's someone that's holding their finances fairly tight. So that tells me that there may have been a financial aspect to Mike Pence, and in aligning himself here with Trump, and I am getting a very strong connection with Pence and the NRA. Okay, but it is about wanting to keep American society back in the 1950s, if you like. And at present, Pence is really under the gun because along with the Five of Pentacles being out in the cold, this could speak to, we're getting the Seven of Wands here. The Seven of Wands comes forward in relation to self-defense and protecting against competition. All may not be what it seems with Trump and Pence. There may well be, he may not be all that close to Donald Trump, despite what Donald Trump is actually saying, and he may need to be watching his own back. Not that Trump will ditch him, but this is the card of having to protect against competition and really going their own way. So this is taking things on in a solo capacity. So to me, this is saying that all is not right with Pence and Trump. Interesting. Okay. Pence could be trying to distance himself from Trump now as well. And the Knight of Pentacles. So that is Pence's challenge column, and the Knight of Pentacles is this proposal. So he has accepted a proposal in the past, and it is his challenge. This is what is at the bottom of everything with Pence. He's going to be caught up in whatever's coming down, whatever's taking down Donald Trump, which is the Russian collusion. Pence is going to be caught up in it as well. So in the future for Pence is the the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords comes forward with grief, with anxiety. These are sleepless nights for Mike Pence in the future. He is going to be caught up in some way in Trump's downfall. Obviously, he's Trump's vice president. He was on board for the campaign. He oversaw the transition team. He is right there in the centre of whatever's going to happen to Trump will take down Mike Pence as well. Okay, so the Three of Wands in the past position, what were some of his considerations? This is this teamwork and commerce, so and looking further afield, overseas perhaps. Again, this is pointing to the Russian agendas of which he knew. He may not have been central to them, but he certainly knew about them. And the challenge at the moment, I love these cards, is the world. The eyes of the world is on Trump, and therefore his Vice President, Mike Pence. Okay, he's not a happy camper at present. It doesn't matter what Trump is coming forward with in public at the moment. That White House is very much under pressure, and there are people who are at the end of their tether. Their challenge, Mike Pence's challenge, which is mirroring this, this image of Christianity and holier than thou that he projects, as I said, the proposal that he's accepted from Donald Trump is very much going to go against him. He's going to find it difficult to start again because this is the card of it's the Ace of Wands, and that is new jobs, new careers, new projects, new inspiration. He's going to find it very difficult to start after Trump. And it's seeming to indicate he won't be the next president, but we'll ask that question. And in the future, the Hierophant, the judge, the courts. This card is coming up in Pence's future. I asked, was he involved on the Russian collusion, in that whole mess that's engulfing Donald Trump? He may not have been central about it. He was Donald Trump's running mate. He was involved in his campaign meetings. He was in his transition team, yes, it's going to be very difficult for Pence to extract himself from his running mate, Donald Trump, or he was Donald Trump's running mate, VP. Okay, he wanted it, he got it, he's going to have to pay the consequences now. Okay, so that's a very interesting reading. I know some of you don't. I'm using my low Scarabeo card deck, and it's always quite insightful. This deck. I guess all my decks are I love all my decks, but this one I just gravitate toward ones at various times, and today it is this deck, and it is I'm in kind of in tune with it, so I'm very pleased that it's bringing these reflections forward that are actually aligning with my with the clairvoyance that I used at the beginning of the reading. Our next question, is he undermining Trump at the moment? Now, Pence, as I said, he had that competition card, and I do see this in him. I think he's quite competitive. He's very ego-driven. He has his own sets of goals, and he is ambitious. Is he undermining Trump? He knows Trump's a sinking ship. What's he doing at the moment? Let's have a look, and we'll see what Pence is doing. I'll just bring the screen down here again. Okay, so is Pence undermining Trump? Okay, is he undermining Trump? Some said that the op-ed that was penned actually came from his office, that perhaps his chief of staff did that. Some even said, was it Pence himself? Was this a strategy going into the midterms? What actually is going on in that White House? Is Pence undermining Trump for his own gain? Mike Pence undermining. Yeah, look, it's this duplicit role that he always plays. On the one hand, it's that holier-than-thou, Donald, I'm here for you. It's that Christian-like kind of persona. We'll get through this together. Things might be tough, but, we'll endure. We've got right on our side. He says all the right things to Trump. But then on the other hand, there's Mike Pence, the politician. And Mike Pence, the fairly crafty, smooth politician, which is what I got when I first opened this reading up. On the other hand, there's that. And what I'm seeing is that this, the one is the holier-than-thou is used to bolster the politician's chances, okay? It's very, very much a strategic alliance there for Pence with the Christianity, the Christian right, the Christian conservatives across America. So will he go down with the sinking ship? I don't think so. Is he undermining Trump now? Let's have a look. Is Mike Pence undermining? Okay, he's very much holding lots of talks with his advisors. They're monitoring the situation carefully. Obviously, they're not going to be rocking the boat or incurring. They're playing it very carefully. It's a knife edge that he's walking on. He is feeling isolated, so Trump might be pushing him out because he knows that really if he walks away, Pence then comes to power as the vice president. Will Pence pounce, I guess, is our question. Is he undermining Trump? Is Mike Pence? Okay, so straight away we've got the Knave of Wands, okay? And the Knave of Wands comes forward around new careers and playing the second fiddle, as I said to Trump. He's still doing that. He's very much doing that at the moment, and it's part of this persona that he's bringing forward with Trump. What's his challenge? Being caught up in Trump's downfall. Okay, this card came before. It is the courts. The focus of the reading is the Six of Pentacles, and this is giving and receiving help. It's loans and debts. So is he undermining Trump? Now, that's an interesting card to bring forward, because this would sort of suggest that he is aware of the money the money aspect to in the campaign, that perhaps campaign donations, perhaps what has passed to potentially to that campaign from overseas interests, whether that's via the NRA. He's aware of the money connections, okay? And so that's what he holds over. That's what he holds over Donald Trump. I'm not sure how closely he was involved in the campaign finances, but he was involved in the transition and including the inauguration as well. So he would have a fair idea, I think, of what money has come in to the Trump presidency, to the Trump campaign. That's what he has at this moment. That's what's important to him. And in the past, here is the ambitious politician that he is. And this could also be Donald Trump, okay, because this often comes, the Nine of Cups is almost like the smug merchant, but it's also the wish card. So this is indicating Pence desire and ambition to be president. So I think he's very much wanting to step in if Trump has a downfall, he'll step in and he's ready to. He has some information regarding money and donations there, and debts also. In whose debt is Donald Trump? Pence is across that. Now, this is the potential. The potential is that Pence does hold that alt Christian conservative segment there, and that could turn against Trump. So if you could imagine a scenario where Mueller comes out with these indictments, although it actually appears Pence will be caught up in that as well, but Trump actually leaves. Pence puts on his holier-than-thou persona and comes forward saying, I was on the periphery of everything. I wasn't aware, of however he's going to spin it. He will come forward with that holier-than-thou kind of attitude. But it's not going to work, okay? Whatever's coming up for Trump in the future will take down Mike Pence as well. So again, this is Pence. Although he might be trying to undermine Trump and be this, he's actually under a lot of pressure and stress and anxiety himself at the moment. So is he undermining Trump? My feeling is that he's actually in the thick of it, and he is isolated as well. I think Trump is pushing him out. So I don't think he's in a position to undermine Trump, although he does hold significant information in relation to the money trail there. Perhaps donations, campaign donations, what was given in the transition, what might have been given in the 2 years that Trump has been the president. There is knowledge that he has in relation to loans and debts and money being given. So the final question is the question that everybody wants to know. They want to know whether Mike Pence will be the next president of the US. So if Mueller comes down with his report, Trump has to leave the presidency or walks away. I know some psychics have predicted that he's going to vamoose, he's going to get going. We often get the transition card. I think it is I guess it's the card that I think it's at the Five of Swords, transitions and moving on. So that comes forward then, with Trump, that Pence may well be waiting for that to happen. But will he be the next president? If he's caught up in the Mueller investigation, no, he won't. Okay, so let's just have a look. Will Pence take over? I do see him addressing, State of the Nation or whatever that is. Not State of the Nation. I think he's addressing the nation. I do see him doing that. But those cards are suggesting that if he does that, he won't be there for very long because he's actually going to be caught up in things himself. All right, so it's actually going to be, this is all going to come out in the wash, and he's not going to be able to be vice president. So if he is going to be there, then he wouldn't be there by 2020. You know, he wouldn't be the next president elected in 2020, because I've never seen Donald Trump making it through till then. So let's see, will Pence be the next president after Trump? Okay, so we've got secrets coming out, secrets to be revealed. We've got the High Priestess coming forward. So that's kind of like the focus of the reading. His challenge, okay, his challenge is these income sources, okay, that money trail. It's going to somehow engulf him. I'm not sure how, whether that's, as I said, when he was in the transition team. The focus is of this reading is the Ace of Cups, and that is new relationships and new proposals. I don't think that's Pence, okay? I don't think he is going to be the next president. Okay, it's hard work for him. It's a burden, really, and there's loss, okay? So the Four of Cups comes forward when there's loss. So that's the potential. That's the potential of the situation card. It's kind of looking like he won't. But then we have the Three of Wands, which of course is commerce, teamwork. It's this expansion card that we pulled in terms of overseas interests. So it's not clear that he is. And there's working for the future, the Eight of Pentacles. That's kind of like leaving a body of work. I'm kind of thinking what these cards are in relation to. This expansion and commerce card, I think that is the government beyond Donald Trump. Okay, I just don't see that as Pence, because I've pulled so many negative cards here, that his challenge actually is to become the next president. In other words, his challenge is that he won't get that job. But I've got the Eight of Pentacles, which is, you know, pretty much working hard for the future. I'm just going to pull a clarifier card because this is not clear. It might be that he will be president for a short time, but not after 2020. That could be what I'm seeing. Well, Pence, can we have some clarity, Spirit? And Pence being the next president. Yeah, I'm seeing it's like the gavel being taken out of his hand. So he might be there for a short time, but not for a long time. Okay, because he'll be caught up in that whole back. I guess what comes out after Mueller winds his investigation up. Pence will be caught up with that. It won't be tenable for him to go forward, and indeed no. Okay, so he's at the crossroads of his career. This is the Two of Swords, and this is balancing the forces that will be on him, and it's almost making a decision and having to compromise. So his ambitions will be compromised. That's what that's telling me, and that he indeed, if he's there, I do see him there, perhaps for a short time, but I did see the gavel being taken away from him. And the cards that we've pulled in the past would suggest he gets caught up in Donald Trump's downfall. He's not able to separate himself from that. And indeed, you wouldn't be. You know, he's his vice president. You know, I haven't looked at his role in the campaign. There's something there around finances. Campaign finances and donations, and also while he was in that transitional role there before Donald Trump came into the White House, there was very much a coordination role, and that had something to do with money as well. So there's the Mike Pence reading. Not really looking good for Mike Pence in the future. If he does become president, it won't be for very long. So they're the cards. There's that duality with him, but I don't, what those cards are telling me and what my intuition is telling me is that Pence has a dual nature, and one serves the other. one serves the other. Okay, thank you very much for supporting my channel, and I will talk again soon. Thank you.